Hello everyone. In this session we are going to study Hooke's law and stress strain diagram. So let us start with the Hooke's law. Now Robert Hooke in the year 1679 stated the fundamental law of elasticity that provided the strain is small, the stress will be directly proportional to the strain. Also, Thomas Young introduced a term which characterizes a material, that is modulus of elasticity, in such a way that modulus of elasticity is nothing but the ratio of stress to strain. Since strain is unitless, the unit of modulus of elasticity will be same as stress. So Hooke suggested the linear relationship between stress and strain. Since the body is said to be elastic if this linear relationship is observed. Any deviation from this linear relationship will keep the body into the plastic zone or non-elastic zone. More precisely, if the stress is increased continuously in a solid, then there will be a point where the strain will start increasing more rapidly as suggested by Hooke. So now the body is no more elastic. Therefore, for a given stress applied to the body, the stresses at which the linear relationship between stress and strain hold good is referred as the elastic limit of the material under stress. Thus, a material in the form of bar or wire recover its original condition on the removal of the stress if it is below its elastic limit. If the elastic limit is crossed, it will fail to recover its original condition and will acquire a condition known as permanent set. So this is all about Hooke's law. Now we will look into stress strain diagram. So basically the relationship between stress and strain is known as stress strain diagram. So as you can see in this figure, we have shown the stress strain diagram of a bar or a wire. So as shown in this figure, a linear relationship is obtained in the part OA in this stress strain diagram. So as we can see from the figure, this curve indicates that the strain produced is directly proportional to the stress. So here Hooke's law is obeyed up to point A. Therefore, on removing stress, the original condition of a bar or a wire will be acquired on the removal of deforming forces. Therefore, on removing the stress, original condition of the bar or wire with zero strain is acquired, which can be represented by point O. Thus, the wire is said to be perfect elastic up to the point A, which therefore measures the elastic limit of the material. The strain produced up to this limit is very small, which is approximately 10⁻³ of the original length of the wire. Also, for some materials, Hooke's law is obeyed up to a point smaller than A. So now this curve smaller than OA is indicating the limit of proportionality, which is different from the elastic limit. Okay, now beyond this elastic limit, strain starts increasing more rapidly with increase in stress as shown by the curve AB. In this region, the elongation of wire consists of both elastic and plastic deformation. Therefore, on removal of the load, the wire does not recover its original condition. It follows the dotted path BC. So there will be a residual strain OC which is crept in, known as a permanent set acquired by the wire. Now, if we refer the portion BD, we can see that there is a large value of increase in strain without any practical increase in stress. Also, the stress corresponding to point D is less as compared to the point B. Now, this point B at which the large value of increase in strain starts is known as yielding point or commercial elastic limit, and the corresponding stress is known as yielding stress, and the yielding stops at point D. These points B and D are known as upper yield point and lower yield point. Now the extension beyond D is produced due to the plastic deformation. This extension is observed due to the plastic deformation, which is produced due to the shear stress that can be only produced by increasing the load gradually, so that DF portion is obtained. Now in this region, the load is maximum at point F, and now the volume of the body or the wire in this region will remain constant, but its cross section will start decreasing with strain up to point F. So the maximum load or the maximum deforming force applied per its original cross section area is known as the ultimate strength or tensile strength, or sometimes also known as the breaking stress. Now beyond point F, even without increasing the load, the wire is elongated. Even if the load is reduced, the wire behaves as if it is flowing down. This is because at some sections of the wire, cross-sectional area start decreasing at a faster rate beyond point F. So local constrictions called as neck or waist begins to develop. As a result, stress is considerably increased, which increases the strain or extension in the wire. Now the load is decreased, so the stress is reduced and the wire finally breaks at point E, which represents the breaking point. We should also note that work has to be done in stretching the wire under increasing stress. Now within the elastic limit, the work is stored in the form of potential energy, and it can get back from the material on unloading it. Now if the elastic limit is crossed, then the crystalline structure of the metal may get affected. Also we can get this work done from the area under the load extension curve or the stress strain curve. Here in our case, work done per unit volume in the process during the process can be obtained from the curve OA, BD, FEG. So this is all about stress strain diagram. Now let us refer to some key points. So first of all, the linear part OA of the stress strain curve indicates that strain produced is directly proportional to the stress. So Hooke's law is obeyed up to the point A. On removing the stress, the original condition of zero strain is obtained, recovered by the point O. Now let us refer to some key points of this stress strain diagram. The linear part OA of the stress strain curve indicates that strain produced is directly proportional to the stress, and so Hooke's law is obeyed up to the point A. Also, on removing the stress, the original condition of zero strain is recovered, which is represented by point O. Thus the wire is said to be perfect elastic up to the stress corresponding to point A, which therefore measures the elastic limit of the material or the wire under tensile stress or elastic strength of the wire. Now beyond this elastic limit OA, strain increases more rapidly, which is shown by the curve AB. In this region, elongation of wire consists of both elastic and plastic deformation. Then beyond point B, we can see that the strain increases without any practical increase in stress. Also, the stress at D is less compared to the point B. And this point B, at which the large value of increase in strain starts, is known as the yielding point or commercial elastic limit, and the stress corresponding to it is known as yielding stress. The yielding stops at point D, and these points B and D are known as yielding points. Upper yield point is B and lower yield point is point D. Then beyond this point D, the volume of the wire remains constant, but the cross section area starts decreasing uniformly with strain up to the point F, and this point F represents the maximum load. So the maximum deforming force or the load applied to the body per its original cross section area is known as the ultimate strength or tensile strength, or sometimes it is also known as breaking stress. Then after this point, without any increase in the load, the wire is elongated. Even if the load is reduced, the wire behaves as if it is flowing down. This is because at some sections of the wire, the cross-sectional area starts decreasing at the faster rate and local constriction called neck or waist begins to develop. Within elastic limit, work is stored up in the wire in the form of potential energy and can be obtained back from it on unloading it. On crossing the elastic limit, the crystal structure of the metal may get affected, and then work done is then converted into the heat energy. So this work done can be obtained from the area under the load extension curve or stress strain curve. In our case, the area under the curve OA, BD, FEG gives the work done per unit volume during the process.